What do I need this pain for? Let me liberate you of your agony. Or like, why have I been doing this to myself? Let me heal you without even talking to you. You know, what do I need it for? Let me make you stronger by just walking past you. Let me show you that there is a way out of this insanity. Come towards the light. You can show them the light. Because if you're not in pain, even if you're like, let's say you come out of your pain for 10 minutes, okay, what are you offering people? You're offering them heaven. You're offering them this celestial benevolence of like, wow, look, here's a person that's wandering around that's not in agony. You know, what's wrong with this picture? They're not in agony. And you're not in agony. You're just walking around and you're smiling. And you're happy. Is everything perfect in your life? No. Have all your concerns melted away? No. Are there lots of little letters in the shoebox? Yes. An ever-increasing pile of them. Did you sell the bike and go to Peru? Yes, that's next week. Hey, just offer them benevolence. Offer them forgiveness. Because you've got to forgive yourself. And therefore, in order to manage that, you have to forgive everybody else. So all the people that have ever ripped you off, in your next meditation, line them all up like criminals in a dock. You know, there's Auntie Joan, and there's my mate Sid, and here's the guy that stole my fucking car, and here's the guy that took 20 grand and didn't come back, and da-da-da-da, and here's the bank that overcharged me, and here's this corporation that ripped me off. Let them go. Let them go. Law cases, abandon them. Call the lawyers on Monday, say stop suing them. All the arguments, stop arguing. Make peace with everybody, even if they're wrong. Just keep offering them this stuff. Keep offering them this godlike person. Keep offering them this light. Offer them my light, your light, our light. Because we're light beings, man. As soon as you give up being an arsehole, you become a light being. It's an automatic switch. Arsehole, light being. Arsehole, light being. Complete arsehole, complete light being. So give up. You know, and just as you walk in, as you sit in the elevator and you see somebody look in your eye, silently say, I offer you my divinity. I offer you my compassion. I offer you my care for the animals. I offer you my ability to raise the children. I offer you my talent. I offer you my heroism. I offer you my courage. And then gradually they'll start to offer it back to you. They'll just come along, and people give you things. You'd be surprised, you'd be amazed. They just come along and they give you things. Never say no to anything they give you. You know, my old teacher used to say that. So even if they give you that terrible tie with a nude on it, and it moves when you move, you know, and the fluorescent green jacket, you know, accept it. Because, hey, you can always give it to somebody else. Always pick up all the money you see in the street. That's God encouraging you to get rich. You know, and if people offer you something, even if it's fucking horrible, accept it. And just keep offering it. Silently offer it. As you go through the halls, you do it all night until you go to bed. Just keep offering them your divinity. I offer you my knowledge, I offer you my wisdom, I offer you my heroism. And then as you get used to this idea of like giving it to these people silently, then gradually, I swear, it comes back to you. It comes back to you because people start to see how feminine you are, you know, and all spirituality is feminine, it's not masculine. Like God's a woman, absolutely no question of it, you know. Like the God force, the living spirit is definitely feminine. So the more you have that femininity inside you, the more you have that softness, the more you radiate, the safer you are. The hardest place to be is to be all sort of yin and yang and all really violent and ready for a fight and looking for the next person that's going to attack, you know. That will bring the attack to you. The best way to diffuse an attack is just to offer them benevolence. So you get in this little meditation and you start to try to let go. And you start to feel what the potential of this liberation might be like for yourself. Like, do you deserve it? Have you tried hard? Have you gone a long way in a fruitless effort? Yeah, of course you deserve it. You know, you have a right to be free. You have a right to live a life without fear and pain. You have a right to be fit. You have a right to abundance. You have a right to many different things. And if you don't have all that stuff around you, it was just you that denied yourself.
You know, you wouldn't allow yourself to go there because you had to hang on to over this. You know, so it's back to this, like, if you've got to hold on to this podium, how are we going to make it to Hawaii? We can't go to Hawaii with this thing tied to our leg, can we? Hawaii, here we come. So it's just a matter of letting go. It's just a matter of, like, kindness, a kindness inside yourself. A lot of you are far too cruel to humans and animals. And you're far too cruel to yourself. You're just pretending to be nice, but you're not actually nice. So when you start to treat yourself properly, and when you start to look after yourself, and when you start to look upon yourself with benevolence and forgiveness, again, that purity starts to build. You can be forgiven anything, you know, like, I'd be happy to forgive you your worst crimes, you know. You forgive yourself. And you begin to move towards this resounding benevolence that you offer the world out there. But first and foremost, you offer it to yourself. You stop and you look and think, geez, what do I need this pain for? Or like, why have I been doing this to myself? You know, what do I need it for? And of course, generally speaking, you don't. I mean, sometimes it's just your karma. I mean, some people have bad karma, you know, and they have to resolve it by being very humble and not struggling and learning to suffer in silence, and eventually they work their way out of their karma. It's time to let go, and it's time to cast a soft eye upon yourself and to offer that same soft eye to humanity. So you can walk through this casino tonight and practice not judging the people that you see. Just offering benevolence to everybody that passes you and breathe love into their heart. Even if they look really fucking ghastly and you're scared of them, you know? The people you're scared of most blow more. Guy said, what's the matter with you? So I'm scared of you. It's like the worse they are, the more you love them. Just adore everybody. But you have to also start by adoring yourself. You have to adore yourself. You have to not get up yourself. I'm not talking about self-importance or narcissism, you know, obsession, but just to understand that you're really heroic. You made it to here under extreme difficult circumstances, you know. Here is the place where, like, whoa, wait a minute, we're going to offer each other liberation. You know, we're going to offer each other the freedom to get out of all this mess. And to develop such a good intuition, such a good ability to see that you're going to know where to go and what to do. It's going to just be so obvious. You got to learn to hold steady. You got to learn to be calm, and you have to develop this powerful Taoist detachment that I talked about in Silent Power, that book, and in other books I discussed it. You have to hold steady. You know, if it's raining, you do rain and you get wet. You know, if the money goes down 90%, you buy 90% less with your money. Don't get fazed about anything. You just let it happen all around you and let them get fazed, you know. None of it's actually vital, you see. It's only because we decide things are vital. You know, it has to be like this and it has to be like that. And this has to be done and this has to happen at this time. And, you know, these people have got to act in this certain way. They're never going to act in the way you want them to act. You tried it. You know, you tried. You cajoled them, you terrorize them, you shout at them, you threaten them, and they still don't do what you want. Especially if you've got kids, you know what it's like. You know, you cannot get them to do anything. The way to get them to do something is to tell them to do the opposite. Just let them do whatever they want to do. And then you get out of this struggle of trying to get people to perform the way you want them to perform. It's like so pointless. It's so pointless, you know, trying to get your spouse and your husband and your relatives out. And your people in the office and all of that, they're not going to do what you want anyway, you know? So let them do whatever they want to do. And so I realized how this detachment that I learned from my old teacher, the principles of Taoism, it's easy. It's really easy, but you kind of got to train yourself. You got to train yourself not to complain. You got to train yourself not to insist. You got to train yourself to accept. You got to train yourself to be benevolent. You've got to train yourself to forgive people because they're going to mess you around, you know. I mean, but they're going to mess you around whether you forgive them or don't forgive them. They're going to mess you around whether you're a Taoist or not a Taoist. They're still going to mess you around, so you just let them. Just let him whip you off, you know. You think, oh, well, there you go, whipped off, another one.
Like they just keep coming round and round and round. You think, oh, there's another one. And you just relax. You just get right out of all of it. And you open your heart. Because the safety in the next 2 or 3 years will only be an equation on how much you've been able to open your heart. If you can open your heart and you've got no resistance, you become safe. It sounds ludicrous because you think, well, surely I should just protect myself and put on my armor and buy a gun and get some insurance, and maybe I get those spiky things in the driveway that you can't drive over. And yeah, but you know, you can still get shot in the head at the bus stop, can't you? You know? It can all go wrong for you. So the thing is, this is just to have no resistance. You say, well, what if I drop dead, Stuart? What somebody does shoot me in the head? You see, you don't know whether being alive is better than being dead, do you? Like, there is no evidence that being alive is better. See, it's all to do with how you feel. And then when you're not in the fight, and when you're not in the resistance, and when you're not duking it out with your relatives, and when you're not filing law cases, and when you're not angry and pissed off because they took your space for the wheelie bin in the street on Tuesdays when the trash truck comes around. They got my wheelie bin space. It's like you're free. Maybe you don't need the wheelie bin. Maybe you can post the trash to your relatives or people you don't like. There's ways around everything. You know, maybe you can bury it in the garden. It's like, hey, it's so simple, and then it liberates you. It could be that simple to fall in love with the most beautiful person you've ever met, that you've dreamt of, you know. Maybe they could just walk in the door and be there. But maybe you never set your sights high enough, you know. So you sort of settled for like, but it could be that like, comes, you know, instead of, it could be simple. It could be like even worse simple than that, you know. Like making money could be so simple, couldn't it? You could just make like, I don't know, just loads of it all in one day, you know? Like lots of it, you know, without even really having to work. And yeah, why not? Let's just make a pack of money simply, you know? Like, why do we have to work for it? Why don't we just be clever, box clever, you know? Buy, sell, buy. You know, why don't we liberate ourselves? Why don't we get out of these ghastly homes that the mortgage company owns, you know? We may not need any of it. You see, it could be that, like, you don't need it. You know, you don't need, let's say, your spiritual pomposities. You know, do you need to be chosen? Do you need to be special? Do you need to be the Vestal Virgin that's vectoring the energies, you know? Or can you liberate yourself and be fuck all nothing? Like, be nothing, you know? That's the Stuart Wilde central theme, be nothing. I mean, all the other people will tell you, oh, you've got to go and acquire this and become something, you know, like Tony Robbins seminar, you know. Greed is good. What about if you don't want to be anything? Like, what would you like to be? Nothing at all. And what have you done? I'm not talking about what I've done. And where would you like to go? I'm not telling you, in case you follow me. And are you special? No, not special, no. Are you chosen? Like you're one of the chosen ones? No, I didn't get chosen, man. Nobody chose me. And you see, it could just be the opposite way, couldn't it? Be nothing, and then you're safe. Be nobody. Be anonymous. You know, when they send you a tax bill, leave. It's easy. It's so simple, but not many people can think like that. What do I need this pain for? Or like, why have I been doing this to myself? You know, what do I need it for? There's a simple solution to all the problems. You got to learn to hold steady. You got to learn to be calm, and you have to develop this powerful Taoist detachment. Don't get fazed about anything. You just let it happen all around you and let them get fazed, you know? Let them get fazed. Let them get fazed.